Selling to a competitor can be scary, but it can also be your most lucrative exit. So the PC way to say selling to your competitor is selling to a strategic buyer. Now, strategic buyers, typically it's just a phrase that means that any other company that's buying your company to benefit their existing business. So it could be your competitors, your suppliers, or your customers. If any one of those parties is looking to buy your business, they would be considered a strategic buyer. And strategic buyers are usually your best buyers because they can typically pay the most to buy your business. So in the case of a competitor, they already have the general infrastructure of their business. They're really just buying your customers and your revenue generating employees. So they have some built-in costs that they can save while acquiring your business, which means they can pay a higher price because all else equal, if they paid the same price as another buyer, they would actually make more profits from the purchase than someone who's just buying your business as a standalone. And in the small business world, when we're talking revenue generating employees, we're not just talking salespeople. Within the HVAC industry or the auto tech industry or plumbing or electrical, your revenue generating employees are your skilled labor. So for most HVAC companies, they have a harder time finding HVAC techs than they do finding customers. So if they can add a roster of additional technicians, then that's going to help grow the business. So even though you might not think of those roles as a traditional sales role, in most small businesses, those are revenue generating positions. So a competitor might be buying you for your frontline employees, not just for your customer base or other aspects of your business. But they don't need your office staff. So what they can do is they can absorb your current duties into the current CEO or president, so they don't need to replace you necessarily when you leave and move into retirement. They can also replace a lot of your office workers just by absorbing the work within their current team. So again, these are all things that give a strategic buyer the ability to pay a higher price than a non-strategic buyer. Now, this isn't a great exit if getting the highest price isn't the most important thing to you. If the most important thing to you is making sure that all of your employees are going to be kept on after the sale, or that the name of your business is going to continue, and that you're going to be able to drive past the building that you occupied for such a long time and say, I used to own that business, I started that business. If that's something that's really important to you, selling to a strategic buyer might not be the right sale. So that's just something to keep in mind, and it's going to be a personal decision for you. Is your objective to get the absolute highest price possible, or are you looking at more legacy issues like keeping your employees and keeping your business name? Now, approaching your competitor to sell your business can be pretty tricky. You don't want them to use your sale against you because you don't want them to go and tell customers, hey, you should do business with us. He's looking to sell his business, so you should come work with us, not him. That's really something you want to avoid. The same thing with customers. Then they could go to all your customers. Again, these are revenue generating employees and say, hey, he's looking to sell. You're going to lose your job. Why don't you come work with us? So approaching a competitor to buy your business is a very high risk strategy. I'd say the majority of the time you get a buyout between competitors, usually the buyer reaches out. Usually they're the one making the contact. So I'm sure there's probably someone with your industry that's always reaching out that is always looking to buy. That's obviously the person to talk to. And really the safest way to do that is to use some type of business sale intermediary, such as ourselves, that can reach out on your behalf without actually identifying your business, so that you can use fairly broad terms so that they don't know which competitor is for sale. All they know is that a competitor is for sale. And that way we can try to prevent them from actually learning who the seller is until you're pretty far along in the process. Now, if you need help getting your business ready for sale, you need help selling to a competitor, or you're just ready to sell your business today, reach out and we can help.